First thing to know about the heart is that there's 3 layers going on with it, okay? There is an outer covering layer, that's all this meshy stuff here, that's epicardium, okay, this membrane on top. The middle layer is your myocardium, that's the muscle. Myo stands for muscle, alright? And the innermost layer is your endocardium, that's the smooth tissue on the inside, okay? So epicardium, myocardium, endocardium, alright? Now, next thing you need to know is you have to be able to identify dorsal and ventral side, alright? The best way to do that is by knowing the ventricle flap, okay? The right ventricle is always the thinner ventricle, okay? The right ventricle is a thin ventricle, left ventricle is a nice fat ventricle, okay? Got a lot more muscle on the left side. Why is that?
Because it goes
It's pumping where?
blood out
To the body, yes. So on the left-hand side, you need a lot more muscle to contract that heart and pump that blood not just to the lungs, but to the entire body, alright? So the right ventricle is only pumping blood to the lungs, so it doesn't have to go quite as far, okay? So it's not quite as thick. But this helps you orient yourself. If you know that the right side, that right ventricle is thinner, then you can always, no matter if it's this way or that way, you always know which is the right ventricle, okay? Because this is the right ventricle, but what side is it on?
It's on the left.
It's on the left. Okay. This is your right ventricle. This is on the left-hand side. What is this surface here? Dorsal or ventral surface?
Ventral.
That is your ventral surface. How do you know? Because if I switch this around so it's on the right-hand side, put it in my chest, and then walk like a sheep, this is going to be your stomach, okay, ventral. This is going to be your back, dorsal. Alright? So, if this is our dorsal, then this big line right here is our dorsal longitudinal sulcus. Sulcus is like a depression, okay? Dorsal longitudinal sulcus, alright? On the other side is the ventral longitudinal sulcus. In the ventral longitudinal sulcus lies the coronary artery and vein, okay? The coronary artery and vein bring blood from the heart to the heart, okay? Now, we have the right ventricle, left ventricle, okay? This right ventricle is going to be receiving deoxygenated blood from all the parts of the body, and it's going to come into the right atrium via the vena cava here, okay? This is one. This is your anterior vena cava. This is your posterior vena cava. See it? It's got a little hole right there, okay? 2 vena cavas bringing blood into your atrium here, okay? Your atrium is this, see this flap right here, okay? The atrium is this cavity right there, alright? So, blood comes into the atrium, it's going to flow from the atrium down into the right ventricle, right atrium to right ventricle. The right ventricle has 3 cuspids right here, see there's one right here, 2 right here, and a 3rd one over here. Okay? And these cuspids function, well, I'll get to the function later. But these are the tricuspid, okay? Right side tricuspid. If we think about the right side, the word right, it's spelled with 5 letters, right? R-I-G-H-T. It's got the tricuspid, T-R-I, okay? Tricuspid, tri and right, they're both odd numbers, okay? 3 and 5. So that's how I remember that it's tricuspid on the right side, okay? I know it's weird, that's just how I do it. So, anyways, you have tricuspid. You also have each of the cuspids are connecting to the papillary bodies, which are the thicker muscle bulbs right here, okay, via the chordae tendineae, okay? Chordae tendineae attach and hold the cuspids down onto the papillary bodies, okay? This is your moderator band. What do they think that moderator band functions as? How far can I stretch this thing?
Connecting.
It's connecting it. It's basically like a rope, okay? Because this is not as thick of a muscle as the left side, so if it pumps too hard and it just fills up too much, you know, that flap can maybe go like flying off. So this actually keeps that flap connected to the heart well. You don't have it on the left-hand side because it's way more muscle over here. It's a much stronger ventricle, okay? So, moderator band, chordae tendineae, tricuspid, papillary body, alright? So, from the atrium into the ventricle, the heart is going to contract. When it contracts from the bottom up. So you're pushing the blood up, right? But it's going, when it's pushing up, it's going to actually push up these cuspid, and it's going to block the blood from going back out the way it just came in. And instead, it's going to shoot the blood up and out of your pulmonary trunk. Okay? Right ventricle, pulmonary trunk. Before it leaves out, the way it goes through there is via the pulmonary semilunar valve. Okay? Pulmonary because it's going out the pulmonary trunk, but it's a semilunar because it looks like a little half moon. Okay? Pulmonary semilunar valve. That semilunar valve actually keeps the blood from from coming back down in. Okay? When it's filling up again. So, pulmonary semilunar valve up through your two pulmonary trunks there, the pulmonary arteries. Why is there two of them?
Because they go through places like
Right, which are your two lungs. So it's picking up oxygen to both sides of your body, right? It's going to go to the lungs, but these are called pulmonary arteries. They're leading away from the heart, but what kind of blood is in them? What? Deoxygenated blood, because it's come back from the body. It hasn't picked up the oxygen yet, but it's in an artery. Deoxygenated blood in your pulmonary arteries. Go to the lungs, pick up oxygen, come back to the body via the 4 pulmonary veins. They're veins, but what kind of blood do they have in them? Oxygenated, okay? So we've got one pulmonary vein right there, there's another one there, there's another one there, and then there's another one there. There's 4 of them, okay? The 4 pulmonary veins carrying oxygenated blood are dumping blood back into the left atrium now. Okay, this is your left atrium. It's going to come through the left atrium into the left ventricle it's going to pass these bicuspids. Okay, so you've got one cusp over here and one cusp over there. Alright, bicuspids. And it's the same as before, chordae tendineae in the papillary body. Okay? They function the same. They keep the blood from going back out the way it came in. Okay, this is now oxygenated blood, so the heart is going to contract again, squeeze that blood up and out of your, let me do this right, up and out of your dorsal aorta right there. Okay, they have to go through the aortic semilunar valve in order to do it. See, aortic semilunar valve, up and out the aorta. The aorta is going this way to the body. What's this one going? What is this? Were you guys studying?
carotid artery.
No, this is your brachiocephalic trunk. Yeah, that one's going up to the brain. Yeah.